Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is your teacher Annie Amir. I hope you people are doing fine. Today we're going to talk about direct and indirect speech. What is direct speech? Now, in direct speech, you talk about the quoted speech or the exact words spoken by a person. It is enclosed, or the sentence is enclosed in speech or quotation marks. Now the commas, these are that you see here, that are placed before you start a sentence, at the end of a sentence after the exclamation mark, are called the quotation marks or the speech marks. Speech marks are closed after the full stop, question mark, or the exclamation mark. Whatever punctuation mark you're using to end your sentence, the quotation marks or the speech marks are marked after that. For example, I don't like muffins. Now, the girl, the student, is actually reporting the direct speech, which says, you said I don't like muffins. But if the girl does not use, or the student does not use the exact words, and she just talks about whatever the other person has said, she would say, you said that you do not like muffins. Now, a few of the examples are, she said, I must go. Here you can see that whatever action or the way the girl is saying or informing, we mentioned that this is the reporting verb, because it is reporting or telling us what the other person is saying. So they said, this shouted, asked, predicted, these are all reporting verbs, because they tell us what, or reporting to us whatever the other person is going to say. So she said, I must go. Here you can see there's a comma, and then after that there's speech marks. The sentence starts with a capital letter and there's a full stop, and after the full stop you see the quotation or the speech mark. He said, I'm going out. Help, shouted Red Riding Hood. Are you coming with us? Asked the team captain. The weatherman predicted it will rain next week. Now we're going to talk about indirect speech, because direct speech and indirect speech go hand in hand. Indirect speech is also called the reported speech. That means it is used to communicate or tell us what someone else has said without using the same words. Like when someone says something and later you want to narrate it, or you want to tell somebody else about whatever that person said, that is called indirect speech, because that is indirectly being told to somebody else. Indirect speech does not contain speech marks. For example, she informed me that she would leave for London the next day. Now you can see that it does not say she said that, she said I will leave. That would have been direct speech. Here it says she informed me that she would leave for London the next day. Professor told Axel to pack up for the expedition. Father told us that we should not waste water. Red Riding Hood shouted for help. These are all indirect speech examples. Now, this is very, very important, because this tells you that when you're changing direct speech into indirect speech, there's certain changes you have to make in your sentences. Now would change into then. Like if you say, if you have an example that the boy said, do it now. So you'll change it to, the boy told him or her to do that then. Here would change into there. This would change into that. These would change into those. Ago will be changed into before. Thus into so. Today into that day. Tonight into that night. Yesterday would be changed into the day before or the previous day. Tomorrow will be changed into the day, the next day, or the following day. Last week would be changed into the week before. Next week would be changed into the week later. Now, if you look at the exercises, the homework that you have to do, you will be given a few examples here. See, how are you, Rahim? I hope you're well, cried his uncle. His uncle asked Rahim, or you can write it as Rahim's uncle asked him how he was and hoped that he was quite well. Where are you going, little Red Riding Hood? And what have you got in the basket? Inquired the wolf. The wolf inquired of little Red Riding Hood as to where she was going and what she had got in the basket. These are all examples for you to help, for you to take help and to guide you guys through the exercises that you'll have to do later. Now this is the first exercise. Here you'll be given the sentences of direct speech, and you'll have to change into indirect speech. The second question is filling the you have to read these sentences carefully. Have you been to the Great Barrier Reef? Jenny asked. No, I replied. Well, why don't you come with us? This is like a small passage. You have to punctuate it, or you have to use the quotation marks and the commas wherever you have to, you have to put them to write them into direct speech. In this, and you have only two sentences for that, so there's two passages. In the second worksheet, you will be given direct speech. You'll have to change these into indirect speech. You will refer back to the words, which word will change into what. And again, you'll in the second question of the second worksheet, you'll have to use quotation marks and commas wherever they're needed to make these into direct speech. That's it for today. I hope you've understood and you'll be able to do all your work on your own. Thank you very much.